Hey there, my name is Colton Tatham, and I'm the lead pastor at Sunflower Bible Church. Our journey, if you can believe it, started all the way back in 2017. In 2017, my wife Kristen and I moved to the city of Olathe from Chicago. And at the time, we were working with a great church up in Chicago that really sensed that my wife and I were called to church planting and church multiplication. At the time, Olathe Bible Church hired me on as a sort of church planting, church multiplication resident. And it was our vision really back then to just help multiply God's kingdom here in our city. A lot has happened since then, and our church planting journey has gone through all different types of forms and methods and meeting places and people and leaders and you name it. But every step along the way, God has proven himself faithful. You may remember the 2020 pandemic. Honestly, God was faithful in not letting us get started yet. But we didn't want to just, go on ice. So instead, we actually started gathering as just a small group in a small office space, just regularly, just practicing the fundamentals of what it looks like to try to gather as a church. That following summer, we got to a place where we felt like we might actually be able to start hosting Sunday morning worship services in Journey Bible Church's warehouse. Again, God is just so faithful. At just the right time, there was another church that was about to move into their first building. They were ready to sell their trailers and their portable church equipment for meeting in the schools, and they were willing to sell it to us. And that was amazing. And so we were able to get these trailers at a great price and then practice using those trailers to set up and tear down inside of our church's warehouse. It was really great team building, and it brought a whole lot of people together. And during this entire time, we were praying because it was the summer and we weren't sure whether or not the schools were going to open up for us in that fall. But sure enough, God answers prayers, and we were able to start meeting in a school in West Olathe called Prairie Center Elementary School. And man, that was such an amazing answer to prayers. We were able to start practicing our soft launch services in Prairie Center Elementary School. And our hope is that that would eventually allow us to sort of lead into a grand opening for Journey Bible Church's West Campus that following Easter. However, our son Cade was then suddenly born just a few months after we started meeting in the schools. He was born 24 weeks premature. And he then spent 165 days in the Overland Park NICU. And, again, God was faithful. He was faithful to really show himself to not just helping our son to stay safe and to grow and to eventually come home with us, but he was faithful to the church. And our church, our campus, continued to move on, even with a lot of my family's interest divided between going to a hospital and going to a school and setting up in a trailer and meeting in a school. It was a difficult season, but it was a season that didn't stop God's church from advancing. I remember that fall looking around and driving around West Olathe, and I saw a notice on a chapel that had apparently closed down. I began asking around to say, hey, is this chapel, is this perhaps available, for us to move into? And what an answer to prayers that was, for us to be able to move from setting up weekend after weekend to having our own permanent space. Even though it's a small space, it's a nice permanent and intimate space to be able to grow God's church. And from there, our congregation has really grown from around 70 regular attenders to where almost every Sunday you come here, there's over 100 people, men, women, children, all ages gathering now for worship, and we're continuing to grow. And it's just absolutely amazing. Pastor Mike saw this, and in the spring of 2024, he approached me with the idea or the vision of taking Journey's West Campus at the time, as we were meeting in the chapel, and having that launch as an independent church plant, which is something that Latha Bible Church, Journey Bible Church has done before in its past. And so we're really excited to be able to launch Sunflower Bible Church here on the west side of the city. Really, again, in trusting, God and trusting God on His faithfulness. Our hope is that God will use the faithfulness of Journey Bible Church, deploying us and resourcing us, and God will use that faithfulness to use us to really reach people here on the west side of Olathe, this growing side of our community, for His glory and for the name of Jesus Christ. Again, there is just so much that we are grateful for, and I just want to say thank you to all of you who've joined us at Sunflower Bible Church, who've prayed for us or have supported us over the years. I hope you have a great one, and God bless.